Well, I'm waiting for a new print to finish, which is pink, and I've got the new filament, and as you can see, the new filament is coming out awesome. Anyway, this is the one that was a complete disaster using the grey stuff, and yeah, I tried to acetone it, but didn't help much because yeah, it's just crud. Now, I just wanted to talk a little about my turbine idea, about the reason why they're so thin as well. Because most of the initial force of the air, when it hits the rotor, most of the force that gives it energy to turn comes from the initial entry of the air, which is static. Well, not static, but it's in a straight line. Once it hits the rotor, once it hits the blades, and it pushes the blades along, then the air will go off in a tangent at a right angle, sort of. Let's see if I can show you what I mean. I'll just get a piece of paper. Hang on. Right. So let's say this is a cross section of our blade, right, of our fan. Now the air comes in, and it comes into contact with the blade. It pushes the blade in this direction, and once the air is already moving in this direction, it's no longer exerting a great deal of force on the blade anymore, because it's lost its inertia, I think is the word. The inertial force is it is now moving in this direction, so the blade's already absorbed that energy when it first came into contact with the blade. So that is the reason why I'm keeping the blades fairly small, thin. But when it exits, it actually comes in contact with another blade, which is basically the other way around, which is a stator. So the stator doesn't move, it's fixed. So the air comes into contact with the stator redirects the air flow back in this direction, and on this second pass, our next blade, our turbine, will actually receive even more force. Well, that's the idea, even more force, because it's being deflected directly at the blade. So it hits the blade, it comes down, and most of the inertial forces are being absorbed by the rotor. The air comes down, and it's now deflected again. Now, obviously, then we have another stator. So the air is coming down, and it's deflected back, and as you can see, we have basically a zigzaggy wave of the airflow. That's the idea anyway. So anyway, now I started printing the pink one earlier, and I had a bad connection on my I've had to put another socket on the printer again, because the flipping socket had burnt out, and the print failed anyway. I only got that much, about 1 millimeter thick, but it was coming out really nice. It was coming out really, really nice. It's a shame I only got about 1 millimeter, but you can see it looks a lot better than the soda stuff. So, but we'll see when we get this. The one that's on the printer at the moment, it's still doing at the moment. So, so yes, that is the general idea. We want to have more turbines. More is better than one single turbine, because the problem, as I said, once the air has changed direction. I'd like to put it another way. Imagine you're standing on a street corner, you're standing on a street corner and you just turn the corner and you get hit by a gust of wind. The forces of that wind are most strongly noticeable on the street corner itself. You walk past it and around it, and then the actual airstream starts to dissipate and it's less strong again. It's because on that edge, that very edge of the corner, which is what we're doing with the blades, that is where we get most of the energy. So this is why it's important to have more and thinner turbines. Obviously you can't go too thin. I mean this thing, 1 millimeter, that's not enough. We need something like this, about 3 millimeters or so, something where we can basically get the air to come in. Once it's in there, once it's entered that little pocket there, it hits that ridge, is deflected, pushes the blade along, so we're effectively creating a little pocket in there where the air comes in into each one of these rotors, and at the back, as it comes out, there's a little vacuum. On the back end, as it comes out, there's another vacuum that helps to pull the air from the one that's next to it along as well. So yeah, just a little video, nothing spectacular, just look a bit on my theory. Anyway, thanks for watching. Which button do I press? I always get the wrong button. It must be this one.